Hello and welcome to Personal Success Planners PSP Limited. We are so excited because our mission is to inspire, empower the Black woman by sharing tools, strategies, ideas on how we can become wealthy. So our company is PSP Limited, Personal Success Planners. And so Chisha, why don't you tell them more about our company? But before you do, if you haven't joined our community, please subscribe on the link below, share with your family, your friends, your aunts. Let them know that there's some Black women out there whose aim is to help change the game.
True. So at Personal Success Planners, we have 4 pillars that are very critical to everything we teach. Because remember, we are about empowering Black women to become wealthy and successful. So our pillar number 1 is making more money. Pillar number 2 is managing your money. Pillar number 3 is protecting your money, and pillar number 4 is personal mastery. So this week we're going to look at making more money. So the critical thing that you may have done at the beginning of the year was set your goals, and quarter 1 you started January, February, and then we had this event that has come up. So last week we talked about events plus response equals outcome. This event has happened. So what is our response about making more money? What do we have to do? I think for me, I'll just share the experience that I have. One of my businesses is about providing, providing accommodation for students, student accommodation, student housing, which does very well year in, year out. As we got into Q1, 2 months in, students are settling in, payments have been received. What happens? Colleges had to be closed, schools had to be closed. So I was faced with a situation where overnight, my boarding houses emptied out and all the students went home. But where women of perseverance and pivoting now became very, very critical. What did I have to do? The key thing was to look at, okay, there's still a need for accommodation. So who do I need to look at? And how is my student housing set up? The way it's set up, it still can take in people, but maybe we cannot take them in as we did before by, allowing people to have 3 or 4 people to a room. Why not allow a working professional to take up 1 room? Instead of having like maybe 10 students in the house, I could have 5 professionals. So this is where I'm looking at and trying to go out and put up ads. And I've appointed an agent now to look at a very new market. So my business model has changed. I have not stood still and sat and started crying that, oh, wait, this COVID-19 is the end of me. No. How have you pivoted, Caroline?
Wow. So at the beginning of the year, we were starting, in fact, we started off another business where we are buying properties up north. And so we're sourcing properties for other investors, buying for ourselves and growing the portfolio. So soon as COVID-19 hit, all the trips were cancelled. There are no estate agents, you can't view houses, you can't buy houses, you can't sell houses. So it was a bit of okay, so what do we do? So in the meantime, we're having to change the model. So we are adjusting to our current model. It's allowed me to be able to change the one that we have right now. And how do we maximize on rental income? So we're now having to change what we do to adapt to a new way of doing it so we can actually maximize on rental income. Because guess what? People always will need somewhere to live. Sure. So property investment as a game changer, you just got to think, right, I'm just twisting and changing it from one model to the other. Where is the greatest need? So rather than, as she has said, rather than crying over spilled milk and thinking, oh my goodness, everything is falling apart, actually sit down and begin to think. The one thing that most people find challenging to do is to be able to adjust. You literally have to take full control and make an adjustment. Understand, separate yourself. This is an event. It's occurred. And this is where you're at. And now say, right, okay, that's what it is. What else can I do to change it? What is possible? Have a solution mindset where you're thinking, what is the way out? What else can I do? It may be that you actually change that business altogether, completely close it down. If the markets have changed and life has changed, shut it. You don't have to carry on dragging something that is taking you nowhere. Instead, begin to think about what else can I do? Where is the opportunity? I was talking to somebody else and they said to me, do you know what, Caroline, right now my biggest market has changed. I was supplying X, Y, and Z. Now all I'm supplying is masks. I was like, oh, you've gone into masks. The whole world needs masks and they're in shortage. So I'm doing masks. Set up the whole plant and now they're churning them just like that.
Wow.
Getting other, exactly. So you just got to think on your feet and decide, right, this incident has happened. But the idea of making money is, remember, the role of a business is to supply goods and services that people want and are willing to pay for at that price. So your job is to find out where is the greatest need. What do people need right now? What will they need tomorrow? What will they need even in the future? Look at paper assets. I mean, what's happening in your end? You can, it's like markets like crashing. So if you got some money, hey, you better get yourself ready because you'll buy them cheap as chips, right? And for those of you who haven't understood the paper asset markets, now is the time to begin to invest in yourself. Get educated. Learn about, stocks and shares. Learn about bonds. Learn about cryptocurrency. Learn about all these. Find the industries that you believe are going to boom, take over. If you and I had bought shares in Zoom today, where would we be? Exactly.
It would be somewhere else, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So literally it's being able, so the whole idea is rather than crying and thinking, oh, I don't know what else to do, look at all 4 asset classes. There is real estate, which obviously some might call property investments. There is setting up a business. There is commodities. And there is your paper assets. Your job is to identify where am I going to major. Don't jump from one ship to the other because you're seeking. Rather, you focus your efforts in one and identify strategies in that particular one that you can embark upon. So, we're talking property right now. So Chisha's talking about student accommodation and working professionals. I'm talking about the same property business. And so there are many other faculties around the real estate investment that you might have to consider. Is that right?
True. That's very true. And I'm glad that you've expanded on the assets. Sometimes we tend to get stuck in property, but this is a real interesting time. And wherever you are in the world, look at what's happening in your financial markets. Here in Zambia, the interest rates are beginning to go up. So if you've got extra cash, watch them go up and decide at which point you're going to go in and lock yourself in at 3, 5, 10, or 15 years. It's time to start thinking long term. So look at all the different categories, all the assets. This is a time to change and pivot. And, looking back in 5 years' time, Caroline, we'll probably think, thank goodness that happened because now my business is more robust and it's bringing in more money. So here, Personal Success Challenge, Personal Success Planners. In fact, that's taking me to my next point. We have written a book. What is our book called, Caroline?
The Inside Secrets of the Wealthy Black Woman, and that's you.
Yes, and you can find it at www.personalsuccesschallenge.com. So make sure that you find it. You can click on the link below and join in the conversation. This is a time for us to rise, for us to find the gold, mine it, we're sitting on it, and make sure that when we come out of this pandemic, we're very different women with very different agendas, and our wealth mindset has completely changed. Closing up, any last comments?
Well, don't forget to like us, share, subscribe, and be a part of our community. Make sure you tell us what's going on in your world. Maybe you might be, your culture of backgrounds might be different to us. Why not share so we can talk about your challenges and so we can come up with some solutions?
Right. Bye from us at Personal Success Planners.